Hi everybody, it's Angie, also known as The Light. Hopefully you can hear me because I don't want to be screaming in this video and I'm just kind of tired. But I'm like, you know what, I have to chime in. I have to talk to you guys. It's been a while since I did a video. And I know I have been abandoning y'all, but I'm gonna get it together. But it's just, I am usually tired from work, from life, and all that good stuff. But I am going to continue to do more videos for you about narcissism, spiritualism, all that good stuff, okay? So, welcome to my channel. If you've never been here, you can call me Angie, you can call me The Light. It's up to you, doesn't matter, okay? I know you're like, wait a minute, didn't she just cut her hair? Yeah, I cut my hair, but I have my locks in now because my work schedule has changed to morning shifts, and I'm not a morning person at all, okay? So I was like, no, I can't get up and curl my hair, so let me rock my locks for a little bit, so I can get to work on time in the morning. I'm not used to waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, but girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do, in order to survive in this world, okay? But anyway, so please stop what you're doing. Please like my video, share my video, subscribe, and I promise you, you won't regret it. I talk about narcissism majority on my channel, but I also have videos on spiritualism, and I plan to just kind of move the channel in a little bit of a different direction this year and not just talk about narcissism. And I want to talk about how you can heal from these toxic relationships. But today I want to talk about when I dated a narcissist, and I don't really like to talk about this person. And part of healing is actually telling your story. So while I'm helping you guys heal, I'm healing myself. And even though I started my healing journey probably about 3 years ago, when I started this channel, I still have healing to do. Just like everybody else, I still do have healing to do. And a lot of times we don't like to talk about things, but find a friend or a relative that you can trust and talk about your situations. And I would say there probably was 4 narcissists in my life that really effed my head up, really impacted me the most. And that was my stepfather, who I was raised by, my grandmother, my father's mother. I dated a covert narcissist. I'm going to call him Andre. And then the 4th that came into place was my ex narc best friend, okay? Where we can call him Jonah. Let's call him Jonah. Okay? But anyway, I talk about these 4 individuals on my channel, but I really don't like to talk about this one particular narc. But I said, you know what? I'm going to tell the story of when I dated this narcissist on and off for damn near 6 years of my young life. I'm only 35, and I met this particular narcissist when I was 21 years old. That's a tender age, okay? 21, you just getting started. You're developing into the woman or man that you're going to become, I mean, of course, you've been through a lot in your teen years, but for me, I feel like I really didn't even know myself even at 21. And I lost my virginity at 19. So meeting this narc at 21, 2 years later, after being in terrible relationships, I was in maybe 2 relationships before I met this narc, and they were all toxic, okay? From the person who took my virginity to going and being entrapped with this narcissist from 21 to I think I was about 26. 26, 27, when I finally like was fully away from this narcissist, okay? But anyway, yes, please like my channel. I mean, please subscribe to my channel. Please like my video. If you'd like to make a donation, you can do so. People who do send a donation, I email you. So make sure you put the email in the description section on my Cash App, or make your email connected to your PayPal. So that way I can email you. I ask you, do you have a topic? Do you, or do you can have a spiritual question, I'll answer it. And I do a video response for you. Okay, so you can watch some of my other videos, and they were also for people who sent in a donation. I did a video for them. Alright, so I hope everybody's doing well. Of course, I miss you guys, but my life has changed so much since I started working like a normal job, a normal 9 to 5, which I don't like to work a normal 9 to 5. I like to work on my own, but this is something I have to do right now until I'm able to create a business that is going to bring in the money that I need to survive in this world, to pay my bills and keep my house, basically, okay? And sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do to survive, okay? I love these earrings. I know they look like half moons or boats, but I love them. They're pretty unique, so hopefully they're not too distracting for you guys. I know y'all are always saying things about my hair and my this and my that, but I love it. Anyway, so where do I begin? Okay, so the reason why I want to tell you this story about this relationship I had with a narcissist is because I feel there are people who are going to come across my video and they don't want to believe that the person that they're with is a narcissist, okay? And I realized recently that I still have been holding something inside of me about this particular narcissist, meaning like if I saw this narc, I would probably throw a rock at his head. Like, I don't love him, I don't hate him, but to the point that it's like I want to say, like, what is wrong with you? You know, I want to say, a part of me, when I know what's wrong with him, I know that he is demonically filled with these different spirits. I know that he went through certain things himself in his childhood, and that it created, you know, a narcissist. I believe his mom was a narcissist. But still, it's just that human thing in us. Even though we know that the narcissist is a sick individual, we still kind of want them to have that kind of revenge. You know, we still want to have revenge on them. We still want them to have that karma. And I have that little thing inside of me, so maybe I'm not completely healed from that particular relationship that I had with that narc. You know, I think that's great for me to be able to admit that. And I know a lot of us who are watching this video, you're not fully healed yet too from those romantic relationships that you've had with narcissists, okay? Or it doesn't have to be romantic, any narcissist that really violated you. And I felt like this particular narc violated me, okay? But I allowed this narcissist to violate me. But I'm not gonna lie, if I saw him walking down the street, I will definitely cross the street. I just don't have the desire to have a conversation with this particular narcissist. I don't want to hear his voice. I don't want to smell his scent. I never ever got, like, after this narc and I, you know, broke apart, I don't ever remember, like, trying to search for him. And I don't know, that's something about me. When I part from people, I do not stalk them online. And a lot of you do that when you walk away from the narcissist. And I don't do that. I just don't do that. Maybe because it takes me a while to physically leave people, but I mentally and emotionally, spiritually leave people before I actually physically leave them. I suggest you don't do that. Do not go and stalk your narcissist, because it's not any good to your healing to be stalking your narc, outside their house, or out, trying to hang out with their family and friends still, or checking their Instagram or their Facebook or their Twitter or their Snap. Like, if you keep looking, at the sun, you eventually gonna burn your eyes out, So, guys, don't do that. Don't stalk the narcissist after. It doesn't matter, because you're just gonna see a whole bunch of bullshit on their social media that's gonna make you think that you're not worthy. Okay, they put up this facade after they're done with you to make you feel like, see, this is why I left you. This is why I don't need you anymore, because you weren't good enough. Okay, so don't stalk the narc after you part ways. Challenge yourself to not look. Okay, challenge yourself. Dang, I haven't checked their Snap in a week, in a month, in a year, and eventually, you're able to heal faster when you're not checking up on them. But anyway, so I'm gonna give you a background of this particular narcissist. So this narc was a covert narc. And a covert narc just means covered. And I feel like covert narcs to me are the most dangerous. And I attracted a lot of covert narcs in my time. And most covert narcs basically are cerebral, meaning they use their intellect to capture people. Think that their methods are covered. I could tell an overt narc. Overt meaning, there's nothing to hide. Like, they let their asshole from, like, the door. I like narcs like that, believe it or not. I can point them out in a party or at church or in a business setting. You can always tell a overt narc in a crowd. But these covert narcs are, to me, just more dangerous. They come off, passive aggressive, actually, or they come off sweet, kind and gentle and smart and knowledgeable of so much. And it's intriguing. I admit covert narcs could be very intriguing, because somebody, like myself, I used to love to just try to figure people out. Now I ain't trying to figure nobody out but my damn self. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the state of mind I met this narc when I was 21. I met this narc when I was 21. I'm gonna give you the state of mind that I was in at 21. So at 21, 2021, I started talking to him because we met online. But I don't think I officially met him until I was 21 years old. But we started talking online when I was about 19, 20. We talked online and did video cam and all that. All right, so this is back in like 2003, I would say. I think it was about 2003, 2004. Had to be, was it? Let me see. No. 2000. So about 2003-ish, I would say. Yeah, it had to be about 2003. We met online, and I met most of my narcissists on the internet, meaning dating wise or even friendship wise. I met narcs everywhere. I met narcs in school, in church, in the neighborhood. But as far as dating wise, I met majority of my narcs on the internet. Okay, so 21 years old, I'm living in Long Island, New York, and my mom, she remarried. She got married. She married someone who she had been dating for a long time. and they came into some financial problems. I mean, I was working. New York is very expensive. So at this point, my mom is like, oh, we're going to move in my husband's mom's house. And I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. I don't want to move to Long Island because I'm from Queens, okay? Queens and Long Island is like completely different, okay? Especially I did not drive. In Long Island, you need a car. So I felt like I would be stranded or dependent on people in the house who did drive if I needed to go somewhere, you know, far, whatever the case is. But I spent a lot of time outside of home, and I went into a huge depression, a huge depression. And I was depressed because I had to live in a house with my mother's husband's family, who I didn't know. I didn't know these people. And my mother's brother-in-law, who was, you know, my mother's husband's brother, he was married in his apartment. So this was a big ass house in Long Island, okay? I had my own room, which was great. Everybody had their own bedroom, and it was 3 levels to this house. So on the top level, one of my stepfather's brothers, who was married, he lived upstairs with his wife. Okay, and keep in mind, I was raised by a narcissist. I wasn't taught boundaries growing up. And when you are raised by a narc, they don't teach you boundaries. They don't teach you to stick up for yourself. They don't teach you confidence. They don't teach you anything. They don't teach you shit. Okay, so I had a codependent mother. And I had, growing up, I had a codependent mother who had all these emotional challenges. So I always catered to my mom to make my mother feel good, put myself on the back burner. So I didn't grow up learning how, you know, people should treat me, should, you know, respect me. What are the warning signs? I didn't have any of that, okay? So here I am, 21, living in this house. I'm falling into a very dark place, guys. A very dark place, to the point where I wanted to die. I never tried to kill myself, but I would wake up every day like, oh, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. That's how deep of a depression I was in. And one day I will do a video about depression and how I overcame the spirit of depression, because for me, I feel just like narcissists are filled with demonic spirits. I feel like when you go through anxiety, or when you go through depression or schizophrenia or any type of mental disorder, you know, maybe not like Down syndrome or something like that, but a lot of these things are spiritual attacks. That is my opinion, and I will do a video on my depression journey and how I overcame depression and all that stuff. But anyway, I fell into a really dark place, and you have to understand that a lot of time narcissists, you know, these dark spirits, they come into your life when you're in a dark place, or when you're in a really high place, you know, because it's like, okay, this person's in a good place, and these dark entities want to attack you. They want to bring you back down, okay? But instead, for me, I was in a dark place at 21. I was very depressed. I didn't want to live in this house. There were a lot of things going on in this house that made me feel very uncomfortable. And going back to the uncle that lived upstairs with the wife, he began to like say inappropriate things to me and try to be flirty, and then eventually told me he liked me, and it was just like complete chaos, to the point where his wife thought like I wanted her husband. So that was another drama. So it was like the family, you know, my mother's husband's family started looking at me like I'm crazy. And this happens a lot with women, okay? They never address the husband. They don't address the men, but they address the women, okay? There was something that I did. I was being myself. There was something that I did to I wasn't trying to seduce. I wasn't even attracted to this man. I'm 21 years old. At this point, at 21, I had the two partners. I had two boyfriends in my little short 19, 20, 21 years, whatever it was. And I was just falling this depression. And this man was trying to take advantage of me, or, just a married man, basically. So I had to go through that. So I eventually started to get addicted to the internet. And a lot of times when you're in a dark place, when your energy is low, you are going to attach to anything that's going to fill those voids. It could be food, it could be alcohol, it could be weed, it could be sex, it could be anything. And you have to keep filling up those voids. And those dark spirits in you, which I believe I did have dark spirits on me from being so depressed and, not being around the right people and living in a house that wasn't a house of God or a house of light. And I began to be addicted to the internet. And I'm telling you, the internet, as much as I love YouTube, there is a dark side of YouTube, and it's a dark side of the internet. And I became addicted to the internet. I became addicted to video, camming with guys. I became addicted to porn. I wouldn't say I became addicted to sex, and I wasn't having a lot of partners at the time, but I became addicted to the attention and the phone sex and the porn. And you got to understand, when you are in a depression, and it opens portals for all these dark spirits to attack you. And I was under spiritual attack, and I came across that particular narcissist on the website. I came in contact with this particular narcissist. So that I painted all that for you because I wanted you to maybe see that the only way that these narcs get into your life is because maybe you aren't in such a good place as you think you may be, or you're filling voids, or they caught you slipping somehow, or you're depressed, or you're thirsty or desperate or in need of love because you didn't get that love when you were a child, or you're bored, or you're horny, or you're lonely, whatever it is. This is how these narcs get to us, okay? Or, you could be a successful person. You could be healthy, always at the gym. You could be successful. You can have all these great qualities about yourself, but there's just that one little crack, and they can get in. And I was just in a dark, lonely, just feeding all these low vibrational feelings that I had in me. And I came across this narcissist, and I met him on this website. And I remember we used to like video cam, like sex video cam that type of thing. And he wouldn't show his face. And one day he would just show like his neck down, okay? Because he would be doing things on the camera. Just use your imagination, guys. I'm not gonna give y'all all my business, but use your imagination. And one day the camera, he was like, oh, I'll be right back, and the camera went through, and it went on his face. And one thing about narcissists, of course, they're very controlling. He was like, oh, I never wanted you to see my face, and so he was trying to hide himself, and this went on for a while. So I would have like phone sex with this guy, or watch him do sexual things on camera, but he never wanted me to see his face. But eventually we started to talk and just have regular conversation. And then those sexual those sexual connections. You gotta understand, people don't have to have intercourse with you in person to make a soul tie with you. So us having phone sex, us sending pictures to each other, us being on webcam with each other, that created a soul tie. Yes, you can create soul ties through the phone, through the internet, just like when I'm talking to you. Some guys, I'd be like, oh man, Angie, I wish that we were friends, because while you're feeling my energy, I'm feeling your energy. You really feel like you know that person. You really feel there's some of you who probably feel you have a soul connection with me. And it's very possible you probably have a soul connection through the videos that I do, or through my spirit that you feel, through the camera. But anyway, I built this soul tie with this particular narcissist when I was in a dark place, okay? And this relationship turned, from the phone to the camera to, just having regular phone conversations. And then, he told me like, oh, my name is Andre. And I'm like, oh, well, my name is Angie. And sometimes like when you meet that narc, you feel like there's so many similarities about you guys, but because they mirror you. At the time I didn't know what mirroring was, but yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I like they do that with you. And they listen to you when you talk. He was one of those type that would just let me talk for hours and just sit there and be silent. This is that covert narc. This is that cerebral narc. They take everything in, everything. Those spirits and them are taking everything in about you, because they have to compute this personality. They have to create the perfect man, the perfect woman for you in order to capture you. And so I remember, well, he lived in New Jersey, and I lived in Long Island. So the Long Island Railroad, I took the Long Island Railroad to I traveled all the way to New Jersey, guys. This guy was able to convince me to travel from New York to Jersey. Okay, I'm not gonna say we're in Jersey, just in case somebody who knows this fool sees this video. But anyway, yeah, I traveled from Long Island to New Jersey to meet him. And I remember our first date was simple. It was like dinner and a movie. And I remember being super nervous. I remember him just watching me. Like the narcissists, they do this when they meet you or when they're around you. They're just watching you. They watch how you eat your food. They watch how you talk. They watch everything, how you walk, how you just move. They watch all your mannerisms. They're taking all that in. I remember him just watching me. And I remember us being at dinner. And at this time, keep in mind, because I was raised by a narc stepfather, I did not get affection growing up. Like the narcissistic stepfather wouldn't like give me hugs and affection. You know how people, like they love their little girls. No, I didn't get that. Like my biological father was very affectionate. When I would see him, he would hug me, he would kiss me, he would tell me he loved me. He was extremely affectionate. But my stepfather, who I was raised by, who I was in the household with every single day, I didn't get affection from that. I hardly would ever see him hug or kiss my mom, and she was a beautiful woman. So still, because the narcissist will starve you. They will literally starve you from what you need. And a lot of times that could be, you need affection, you need love, you need that, and they're not willing to give that to you, because giving you love and giving you affection, that's something that you would want. They don't want to give you anything that you want. Okay. Hopefully you're able to keep up with the story. It's a lot, I know. So anyway, long story short, I went all the way to New Jersey. I met this narcissist, and I remember him saying to me, like, hold my hand. And back then, holding a guy's hand was like, it was like agony. It was very painful because I didn't get affection. To me, affection was, oh, I'm just going to have sex with that guy. I didn't ever want, like, it was too much for a guy to like hug me or like kiss me in public or hold my hand, walking, like all that romantic stuff that didn't exist in my world. I didn't want it. I didn't have the need for it. I think I was scared of it. It just didn't feel right, And anyway, I think when I met him that day, when I'm thinking back, that was my interview for him to be like, let's see, is she gonna be up next to be my supply? We didn't have intercourse that day. We did like make out, we did fool around, but we didn't have intercourse. And I remember feeling like this guy, I thought he was like kind of weird, but I didn't think he was, I don't know. Back then, when I'm trying to think back to it, I think my spirit felt it. Your mind doesn't feel it when you meet these narcs, but there is something off. If you really think about when you go back to when you first met the narc, I think if you are in tune, you energetically felt something was off, or so it felt too good to be true, or there was just something, but there was definitely signs there that something was off about this guy. But I kept on. And I'm going to say maybe a few weeks into us talking, and they say the talking stage, I did try to let him go. I did try to let him go within the talking phase, but I couldn't. I was already attached. This relationship went from, it was more of a, when I think about it, it was more of a sexual relationship. And he used sex to drain my light. He used sex to drain my energy. I went from being fashionable and wanting to hang out with my friends and buying the latest shoes or the sneakers that was coming out. I was young, I wanted to party, wanted to hang out, to where I just didn't even want to do my hair anymore. This narc took me through hell and back again. I began to just be so engulfed into this narc to the point it's embarrassing. To me, it's embarrassing to even talk about what I've survived. Okay, we're not victims, we're survivors. And throughout this whole relationship, this relationship was based on sex. He would drain my energy through sex. Sex with him, it was really about him. I think he did get off pleasing me, but a lot of times the sex would be painful, the sex would be humiliating sex, the sex would be trying to push my boundaries and my limits. There was times where he'd be like, oh, he wanted to watch porn while we were having sex. There were different positions, or asking for threesomes, or asking to do humiliating things, or, and a lot of times, I'm not saying that any of the things that I'm saying is wrong. That may be what you're into, but the narcissist will push your buttons and violate you and keep asking you to do things that you're sexually not comfortable with, and that's what this particular narcissist did. And I allowed it. And the more sex we had, the deeper and deeper and deeper I was addicted to him sexually. I was addicted to the pull and the fighting. He would triangleize me with his daughter's mother. What was really creepy, I actually looked like his daughter's mother. I saw pictures of her. Throughout this relationship, I always had either a yeast infection or a urinary tract infection. I remember I still have a mark on my arm. I developed a huge rare rash. I went to 2 dermatologists trying to get medication. I mean, it was painful. It was this huge rash that came out of nowhere It was this huge, I'm telling you, and it hurt. It was so painful. I felt like I was like one of those people in the Bible when they got leprosy back in the day. And I'm telling you, it was this huge, it was like this big on my arm. And I remember one of the dermatologists was like, "Oh, this is weird. I've never seen this on a human." That's what she said. "I never seen this rash on a human. I've seen this rash on a dog." Guys, I had a rash fucking with this narcissist on my arm that they normally see on pets. Do you hear me? On pets. I mean, the negative energy from these narcissists can make you physically ill. Okay, and I did a video on that, how narcissists affect your health. You can check that out. And I mean, I stayed at the gynecologist and I didn't figure this shit out. Years later, I know about a negative energy. I know the reasons why I stayed sick dealing with this guy. It's your body letting you know, hello, stop effing with this person. Get this energy away from me, okay? And the only thing this narcissist gave me was penis and money. That was it. You know, he would spend money on me. He would take me places in order to keep me. I was his highest supply. What did this narcissist take from me? He was literally draining my spiritual light through sex, and that's why sex is very, very, very sacred and very dangerous, okay? Yes, it feels amazing, but sex is an energy exchange, okay? If y'all are able, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I am secretly jealous of people who can go and sleep with as many people as they want and nothing happens to them. Because with me, oh no, I can't do that. I have to pick and choose my partners very wisely, and this is why I've been celibate multiple times in my life, okay? And I'm scared to death, guys, okay? I be scared to death because I've learned so much for being intimate with narcissists, and I see what the negative energy can do. And I want to be a mother one day, so I can't have no toxic man's energy in my womb holding me back from being a mother one day. In this relationship with him, he never hit me, but the verbal abuse, the back and forth, they say it takes 7 times to leave a narc. I left this guy more than 7 times and went back to him. He never introduced, I think I told y'all this story about this guy. He never introduced me to his friends. He never would introduce me to his family. And this went on and on and on. He ended up meeting my mom once, and my mom just looked at him and just rolled her eyes. She knew in her heart that this man was not good for me. I was able to get away from him for a little while, and I actually ended up dating another guy, but because bad felt good and good felt bad, because I was so used to the abuse because of this narc. And that's another thing. The narc trains you to be used to that back and forth, that pull, that good, that bad, you know. You're so used to being mistreated that when you do get with a positive person, you don't know what to do with them. You think it's not exciting. You think they don't love you. You know, you think that drama equals love, and that's not true. You think sacrifice and abuse equals love, and that's not true. And I thought that, and I actually got engaged, got away from that particular narc, got engaged to a decent man, broke off my engagement to run back to this particular narcissist. And when I ran back to that narcissist, you think he married me? Nope. Thank God he didn't. Thank God he didn't. I actually ended up moving to Florida. I mean, I kept running away from this narcissist. I ran away to Florida. I lived in Florida for like less than a year. Came back, went back to the same man, went back to the same narcissist, guys. And each time the abuse got worse and worse. The way the narcissist would talk to me, talk down to me, never motivate me. Keep in mind, this narcissist was a chemist. This narcissist has his degree. This narcissist was financially stable. He had his own place. He had a car. He had all this, okay? And would keep messing with me. In the real world, this narcissist should have had nothing to do with me. I'm not college educated. I didn't have a lot of money. Didn't have a car. Didn't have a house. Didn't have these things. I'm not saying that someone who doesn't have all those materialistic things, can't be with someone who's educated and has all these things going for themselves. But technically, he wasn't going to be able to build life with me anyway because I wasn't building at that time. And he didn't care. He didn't care because he didn't want me. The narcissists sometimes, they don't want to marry their supply. They just want to use the supply. That was it. So your narc can end up marrying you, and it's not because they love you, because they don't love. They need someone who is literally going to take care of whatever particular need, okay, that they have reserved for you. I never found out any real information, any truth, because I really feel this guy was living a double life. Because keep in mind, I never met his family, I never met his friends. There was so many different signs. But when you are blind, when you're insecure, when you're desperate, when you're thirsty, when you're lonely, when you're hurt, when you were raised improperly, you don't see these things. You know what I'm saying? I knew that the pain, I knew this relationship was painful. I knew I was hurt. I knew that he was mistreating me. But when you're in those relationships, you're thinking, they're treating me like this because of me. There's something about me. Now, when people act stupid, I'm like, oh, hell no. They're fucked up. They gotta go. They gotta go. Because I know my worth and I know who I am now. Okay? And that is why the healing process is so extremely important. Because the more confidence to have, the more confidence you have, the more love that you have, the more respect that you have, it literally throws your vibration up higher. So that way you'll be able to stop attracting narcissists, or you will attract the narcissist, but you'll be able to say, no, thank you. You're not on my level. Get away from me, peasant. Get away from me, demon. Move. Nice try, though. Nice try. And they feel your energy, that they know you're serious. They know you're not the one to fuck with. Okay? So that's how that narc caught me, because my energy was low. My vibration was low. I wasn't healed yet. Okay? And it was narcs after him. But that narc put me through so much spiritually. On the outside, it might have seemed like he was nice because he would buy me clothes or buy me food, not clothes. He would buy me food or buy me things that I needed for my house or from, my body, toiletries or something. It was so, man, when you think back to the narc, they really gave you like nothing. They didn't give you anything. Most of the things that narcs give you, you could have got it yourself if you figured it out. Alright, half the time these narcs, they only giving you things to control you. And the ones who are broke, they probably stealing, robbing, killing, doing all kind of crazy things just to give you things, because they don't want, they're just selfish. Okay, they're selfish. This guy was only controlling me because he wanted to drain me sexually. He wanted my light. And you understand, these narcs come into your life to throw you off your destiny, to throw you off your path, to throw you off of your calling. Okay? Because these dark entities know who you are energetically. They see your light, and that's their job. Okay? There's light workers, there's dark workers. That's their job, to throw you off, teeter you off your path, your road, your journey, your purpose in life. That's the reason why. If you sitting there spending 5, 10, 15, 20 years in a relationship with a narcissist, you never accomplish what God put you on earth. And then you're going to come back here and do it all over again. That's the reason why the narc sometimes comes into your life, to throw you off your path. Not why. That is why they're in your life, okay? But in the process, you also learn what you went through, okay? Now you're learning you had an effed up childhood, or, you know, you need to build your self-esteem, your self-love up, you know, or it just highlights what your purpose is. Or maybe you I sometimes feel like I went through all of this so I can help others. So that I can be a testimony, so that I can be, you know, there for other people who's been through it. A sacrifice, basically. But this relationship, when I think about this relationship, taught me a lot. I don't regret it. I don't think I'll ever want to go through it again. I don't regret it. But this relationship, this narcissistic relationship, this covert narc, it taught me my views on men. You know, I saw this man because he reminded me a lot of my biological father, but he also reminded me a lot of my stepfather who raised me, the narcissist. Where I had this perception of how a man should be. And sometimes we're so caught up, we don't realize that we're actually, when we want to date, we're looking for that narc. We're not looking for a healthy partner. We're actually looking for the images or the perception of who a woman or man should be. When we're dating, you gotta understand, the narcissist that raised you, or the narc that you were around, they've set this bar, or they put these things in your mind of this is how a man or woman should be, when they have been setting you up to attract another narc. Isn't that crazy? So you actually are sitting there, you're saying you're healthy, but you're actually looking for other narcs. Okay, so sometimes a lot of the qualities that you're looking for are narcissistic qualities, because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at all. You are so stuck on an image that is impossible for most people to accomplish in life, okay? Because nobody is perfect. But I do realize that I have a lot of healing to do still when it's concerning this narc, because it's kind of like, like, I can't stand his ass still. Like, you know, like if I saw him, I would cross the street, you know. But I even tattooed this guy's initials on me, guys. Okay, it's on my ankle, but I covered it up. But I remember when I tattooed his initials, he was like, "You're crazy." You know how the narcs always love, you know. And this was like I did this maybe about 3 or 4 years into the relationship, and he was just like, "You're crazy." Like, I told my friends, and your friends even said you know, that you're crazy, and I'm like, I'm crazy? What? And keep in mind, this whole relationship, we're not using protection. I could have got pregnant. I could have got AIDS. I could have got all kind of STDs. Thank God I only got UTIs and yeast infections. You know, yeah, but he called me crazy. You know, it's like the narc, they establish these relationships with you. They do all these crazy things themselves, and then when you show some type of love or affection, it's like, chill, we're really not like that. You're crazy. You're obsessed with me. You know, this is what the narcs do, and this is what that particular narc did to me, trying to make it seem like I was so obsessed with him only. You know, but I mean, I really should laugh about it, and I should be happy that I am no longer in that relationship. Could you imagine? I mean, if I end up marrying this guy or had his baby, you know, and when my mom died, I think I told you guys this before, he disappeared. My mother died. I texted him, I called him, like my mom passed. He did not answer me. So I Googled his parents' number and I contacted his parents, and they were just like, "Who are you? Who are you? And how do you know my son?" It was just crazy. And you know what? That was like a violation to the narcissist. He felt I violated, my position in his life. And a little bit after that, he cut me off. Okay, that narcissist, he just disappeared. I tell you, one day, he just disappeared. Him and I had like a best female friend at the time. She was a narcissist. They disappeared at the same time. And I think the universe, God, whatever you want to refer to it, will do that. When you don't cut people off, God is like, all right, you know what? You're not going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And that's what happened to me with those particular narcissists. The other narcissists, I ended up cutting them off because I didn't know what narcissism was back then. 2003, 2006, 2007. I didn't know what narcissism was. But yeah, a little bit after my mom died, that narcissist disappeared. I've never heard from him ever again. He disappeared. He shut down his email. He shut down his phone. It was like the government can't even find him. He disappeared. He changed everything. Okay. To this day, I don't know. He could have been married. He could have been gay. I don't know what the hell he could have been, but I'm so thankful that, I'm so thankful he left. It was already over and he knew that. The narc knows. The last time I was intimate with him, he actually ejaculated in me. I told this story before. So throughout the whole relationship, he said he never wanted to get me pregnant. He didn't want to marry me. I am not good enough. I don't make enough money. I'm not intelligent enough. I mean, he went through all that these narcs do. They tell you you're not good enough. And I believed it. And the more I believed it, the harder I went to try to please him and prove that I was good enough, and all along the narc has no business even blinking at you. You better than them. I don't even care if you are in a box and they are millionaires. You are better than them, okay? And I didn't see that then, okay? I had low self-esteem. I was in a dark place, and that's how that demon caught me. But yeah, he would call me crazy and ugly and fat and nobody would want you but me. And that's why when people see that I exude all this confidence, or, oh, Andrew, you're beautiful, or this, you carry yourself there, you look good. It is a process, guys. It is a process. So if you're not there yet, it's coming, but it takes work. Sometimes you may see that confident woman like myself, and you have to understand there was once a time that they weren't confident. You might see someone who's super healthy. There might have been a time that they weren't healthy. You may see somebody who is sensible and humble. Maybe they were gluttonous at one point, or they were ego-based at one point. So everyone has a story. I was not always as confident. I was not always this strong. It was a process to get to the woman I am today after narcissistic abuse. Okay? But I just wanted to share that to you because maybe you are dealing with a narcissist still, or you came across a covert narc, or maybe you kind of in denial about who you are. That you have to understand that the narc got you because maybe you are in a dark place, or your confidence is not exactly there yet, and I hope this helps you, because sometimes you have to just tell your story in order to heal. And I think I'm still healing from this, because I feel like a little piece of me inside of me is like, ooh, I wish I can get him back. I wish I could, sometimes I do be like, dang, I wish he could see me now, like, you didn't take me down, but I don't know, that guy could be dead for all I know. I don't know where he's at. I haven't heard from him. That was over 10 years ago, okay? I haven't seen that man since 2007, I think. 2007, 2008. So I'm you know what, I'm thankful for each and every narcissistic relationship I had, whether it was friendship or romantic, family wise, because it created who I am today. Okay, might be, I don't know if y'all believe in multiple lives, but maybe it's something that I had to go through that I didn't go through in another lifetime. Okay, guys, hopefully this story was helpful. I know this video was long as hell, but I know some of you love long videos and you love my stories and you love my testimonies. So hopefully some of you will take time out and watch it. And please stay away from these narcs. And I'm telling you, it's not love. It is a facade. It is a fantasy they created. They don't even know themselves. Okay? Peace and blessings, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Mwah.